All information contained in this podcast is general in nature and does not consider your individual circumstances. You should consider the appropriateness of this information with regards to your individual objectives, financial situation, and needs. Welcome to Sharing More Than the Sheets, a podcast to help you and your partner make better financial and lifestyle decisions so that you can both focus on the things that you love. I'm your host, Michael Khouri, financial planner, green thumb, husband, and just dad. This segment is called Michael's Magic Moment. It's my opportunity to play a little snippet from one of our previous episodes, which resonated with our listeners, that I received feedback from, or I felt really had an impact on some people's lives. Hope you enjoy. Today we go back to an episode which is very similar to so many discussions that I have with my clients regularly, where we just discuss whether someone actually needs a financial advisor, so whether it's actually going to benefit someone or a couple in particular. I recorded this episode because I was having this discussion so many times, and what I explained back then in 2021 has not changed. I discuss the different types of benefits of financial advice, the tangible, the intangible, and I give an example where it really helps to have someone there from an outsider's perspective. Because if you think about it, we all make decisions based off emotion, and it makes such a difference having someone there which is not emotionally, involved in your situation, giving you advice or talking to you about things. And maybe it could be mentioning something that you've considered but brushed off, or something that you've never even thought of, or something that you've thought of but you didn't think you could do, or probably didn't think it was a good idea because someone that tried the same thing and it didn't work out for them, so therefore it probably wouldn't work out for you. So the benefits of advice are massive. For me, it's easy to say as a financial advisor because I see this all the time. I've been doing this for, over a decade, and I can, give you so many examples as to when having someone there has helped. But for you listening to this, if you've never had a financial advisor before, then you wouldn't really know. So I highly recommend you listen to this episode, and it hopefully will open up your eyes. To be honest, when you meet a financial advisor for the first time, it should be pretty obvious to both of you as to whether you need advice. When I say both of you, I mean you and the advisor. And secondly, you should automatically feel some of these benefits already, the tangible and the intangible, or at least get a good idea as to what that relationship is going to look like with that advisor. So what I'm trying to say is, don't take my word for it. Talk to someone if you haven't. And if you've met an advisor and it doesn't really sit well with you, meet someone else. Call me. You might like me. You may not. I don't know. But talk to an advisor and find someone that you feel comfortable with, that you can talk to about, because, it is very important to feel comfortable with your advisor. You normally talk about personal things. You talk about, obviously, money. But secondly, you need to be comfortable with that advisor sort of jumping in and sort of mentioning things, and maybe having an interventional conversation, or maybe calling you out on something that you're doing wrong. So important. And just, I hope you enjoy. We'll jump straight to that part now. If you'd like, please listen to the whole episode. Otherwise, here's a little snippet of probably my favorite part. What I want to say is, when it comes to financial advice, there are two different benefits. There are the tangible benefits and there are the intangible benefits. Okay, so the tangible benefits are those that people can see, those that are obvious. They're the figures. That's what's in black and white. And the intangible is everything else, basically. And this research paper actually said that 90% of their advised clients, so essentially both research papers interviewed people that were advised and those that weren't advised, and 90% of the advised clients said that accessing financial advice has left them in a better position financially, and 89% of them reported receiving advice has allowed them to live their desired lifestyle. And a lot of it comes down to the type of things that we help people with. So as a financial advisor, we help people provide clarity around their goals and progression towards them. We help them achieve their financial goals, help them plan for a more comfortable retirement. We help them achieve their personal goals that they want to work towards, not just their financial. And we inspire them to work towards their goals and reaching them, because a lot of the time some people have a goal, but they sort of don't know what to do, or they don't normally have that motivation to get there. So while you think financial advisors are all about numbers, and yes, that's a big part of what we do, a lot of it is even just having that discussion, having that chat, especially when there's a couple. When there's a couple, there's nothing more powerful than having a third party, an outsider, someone that's not emotionally vested into their situation, looking into their situation and talking to them. I'll never tell anyone what to do, but I'll always highlight things. If I see there's a need for something to change, I'll mention it. If essentially I put myself in their shoes and I think, what would I want someone to tell me and my wife, or what would I do if I was in their situation? And this is so powerful, what I just said, putting myself in their situation, because when we are making our own financial decisions, sometimes these decisions are manipulated, or they are essentially, we're very biased in the way we make our decisions, because sometimes we'll do something that we're comfortable doing, or something that we know about, or something that we've done before. But sometimes there could be some strategies or some ideas that maybe some people have thought of, but they just haven't done because 10 years ago someone at a barbecue told them it was a bad idea. Or maybe there are some things that some people have heard of, but they don't really know enough about them to actually go and pursue them or to try them. So, and even personally speaking, sometimes I'll think of making a decision. One example is buying a car, which I'll explain in a second. But sometimes I'll think of making a financial decision, but I'll stop for a second and think, hold on a second. What would I advise my clients to do? And it's happened quite a few times. One recent example is I was buying a car. So we need a second car for me, for driving around, for work essentially. And I was looking at cars, and I was looking at some really nice cars. I love my cars. That's one of my weaknesses. And I was looking at this car, and I researched it, found out exactly what I wanted, looked at the specs. I even found out almost most likely who I was going to get it from, everything. And I was so excited, right? And one morning I literally just had this moment, and I was thinking, hold on a second, what would I tell one of my own clients to do? And as a result of that thought, just for that 1 second, I ended up finding another car which was literally half the price, and ended up buying it the next morning. So if it wasn't for that one moment of me asking myself that question, I could have potentially made a decision. Maybe may not have been a bad decision, but I would have made a decision that wasn't as financially beneficial. And most people wouldn't have that thought, obviously. And that is sort of where it helps to have that financial advisor there. Thanks for joining us on Sharing More Than the Sheets. Please make sure you subscribe to be updated with future episode releases, and feel free to share this episode with any friends or family that you think it might benefit. Please visit us at sharingmorethanthesheets.com.au to submit questions or requests for future podcast topics. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au.